It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NBA show. Check out the entire show. Hit the link on the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, 99-3-5 on the road at New York Knicks, 8-11, 3-4 at home. The Knicks opened up as 2-point favorites, and that went away fast. The leading indicator books have already moved the Cavaliers as 1-point favorites. The rest of the books are at Pick'em. Some books, a couple books are behind, still have the Knicks as 1-point favorites, but the indicators have already moved to the Cavaliers as the favorite. We're Madison Square Garden, New York, New York. Cavaliers pace last 5, 7th in the NBA at 101.57 possessions a game. Knicks pace in the last 5, as they've been all year long, 30th in the NBA, 96.10 possessions a game, and that is slowly going down. Cavs snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 122-107 win at home over Detroit on Wednesday night. Cavs shot 54% from the field, 52.4% from three. Hard to believe that that's going to happen again. Andre Drummond played big against his former team, 23 points, 16 boards, 5 steals, 2 blocks. Sexton went for 29 points on 10 of 14 shooting. He was a plus 25, which was second best on the team because Belmont's Dylan Windler was a plus 29 in 22 minutes. And he plays within himself. Doesn't try to do too much. Decent basketball player there. Windler scored just 8 points, but he was good on the floor. Darius Garland back in the starting lineup, 6 of 11 from the field, 14 points, 4 assists. Larry Nance missed the game with a wrist injury. He's listed as questionable to go tonight. Knicks are coming off 108-94 loss at Utah Wednesday night. They're returning from a 4-game road trip that opened with that 119-104 win at Golden State, then saw them struggle to score in losses at Sacramento, Portland, and Utah. They averaged just 101.5 points per game over the year. They hit just 44.2% from the field. They simply don't get enough distribution with just 21.1 assists per game. In their loss to the Jazz, Randall went for 18, Barrett for 17, and Austin Rivers came off the bench, hit 25. Elfrid Payton continues to play whenever he feels like it. This guy just, I don't know how, I honestly don't know how he keeps getting work. And it's because he has these flashes of, you're like, man, that guy, that's a starting point guard right there. And then for 4 or 5 games, he does squad ass nothing. Fucking zilch. 4 points, 2 assists in 21 minutes. Here you have a chance to be, this point guard spot is available for whichever, there are all these point guards on the Knicks, and they're just saying, which one of you guys can step up? And Elfrid Payton is not that guy. Emmanuel quickly came off his career-high 31 points against the Blazers, go 1 for 11 from the field for 6 points, which is everything in player props. After the player has the career-high day, you fade him, you take the under, and after the player goes 0 for 11, you back him, and it just continually will cash for you. Bullock, neck questionable for Friday's game against the Cavaliers. Reggie Bullock with a neck injury. All right, let's start with Dutch Boy Fresh, Cavs Knicks.
Yo, I can't lie, Jimmy. Michael Vick just keeps popping in my head because this is going to be one hell of a dogfight to me, to be honest with you. I see, no real clear edge on either side, but I'm going to look at the big man, Andre Drummond. Now, he's averaging 20 rebounds his last 2 meetings against this team, including 23 this year. On the season, he's averaging 18 and 4. I believe Jimmy was on him just this past game. He mentioned brought down 26 with 23 points. The guy's a monster. He's all over the court. I love him in this matchup. I'm looking to get all over the rebounds with Andre Drummond.
Just the rebounds?
Yes, sir.
And do you get concerned because during that game against his former team when he just smashed and grabbed and easily cashed for us, I got 2 different messages from guys. Is he injured or is he in foul trouble? Because they're giving Jared Allen so much run. Does that concern you at all when playing the props market with Andre Drummond?
A little bit, but at the same time, there's rumors that he's looking to go to Brooklyn, and I think he's trying to put on a show. He's trying to show, hey, I would love to be in Brooklyn, and I don't blame him because that would be a nice pickup for them. But let's not get into that. But I believe he's trying to put on a show. Jared Allen's nice, but Andre Drummond's been putting up numbers for a long time. This isn't nothing new. He's getting, as long as he gets his minutes, he's going to get his rebounds for sure.
Drummond rebounds prop for Dutch. Let's hear how Wham Bam wants to attack this game. Cavaliers, Knicks, take it away.
I agree with the line move to start off, man. The Cavs coming off a good win against Detroit. Seems like they've been up-tempo in the pace. Last 7 quarters, they scored 31 points 5 times in those last 7 quarters. And that includes that Laker game as well. six of the 9 wins for the Cavs, they scored 126 points. So if they're going to win this game, they got to continue to bring this tempo up. This Knicks team, they do slow the ball down. Last 3 games, they scored 100 points per game. That's 11 more on the Cavs side. So they're scoring 111 more points. I'm sorry, 111 more points. 11 more points there. Now 6% more for three for the Cavs as well. So they're getting a lot more better on threes. Shooting a little bit better on the points per game, 10 more points per game, other than this Knicks team as well. So you're thinking that they're not shooting threes that well, the Knicks, and they're not shooting as many down low because you're seeing that Drummond getting those offensive rebounds, doing this dirty work down there. And Jared Allen, man, I love the addition there. And it does seem a little concerning. I understand what you're saying with their with the Andre Drummond thing, but I do think Andre Drummond will continue to get himself up out of the Cavs. It's just that contract is pretty hefty, though. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to the Nets, though, to be honest with you. The fast break points, I believe, is what's going to set this apart. Not only do this team force turnovers at 17 turnovers per game, and the Knicks only force 7 turnovers. So they're going to try to get this fast break points that they already averaged 17 fast break points in the Cavs these last 3 games. So I think the Cavs actually is the spot here. I think Garland and Sexton not being a part of that win that they got on the Knicks may be something that we want to look into. Garland and Sexton, they didn't play that game. They didn't play that game that they won. The game that they did play, they lost, and both of those guys combined for 35% for the field. So I think they're going to play better. I think Garland's going to play better, which he's already shown. And Sexton, it seems like he's just ready to attack. And if they got a backcourt problem, with a backcourt problem with the Knicks, like you said, no one wants to take on ownership here. Sexton will make them take ownership or else. So I like Sexton in here in this spot. I like Garland as well. And I like the additions with the Cavs. I think they're still being slightly undervalued. The defense is I lean there as well. So I'm going to take the Cavs here. And I thought we was going to get plus money on the money line. But if we're just getting -1, I'll take the -1.
Well, there's a +1 at -115 and a -108 money line over at FanDuel. Let's see what Circa is holding for you. Circa is just at the -110, so the -108 is best there. See if we can get something from BetMGM. See if maybe they can come in and help out here.
And allude to what you usually would say, Jimmy. These guys coming off of a road trip, going home. The Knicks they have 4 games they had on the road. They're coming off of home. And there's a quote from Rivers. I don't know how a schedule could be any tougher than what we played physically and mentally. That gives me an indication. And that was before he balled out. That's before the game, like you said, he had 25 points off the game. So that's before. So he may be feeling a little bit better. But I think the morale is still like, man, we finally here home. So I think we could fade them here, and this is a good spot too.
Yeah, I like fading a team in their first road game after flying across the country. These guys are coming in from Utah. They were playing. What was it? How did they beat the Warriors? What did they do to look so good in that first road game?
Is that a question for me?
Either of you guys. Can anyone?
Honestly, don't think that they really caught the Warriors at a good spot, though. In my opinion, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Warriors. I don't have this up here. Can check that game, but I think the Warriors were in a bad spot, and along with the rest advantage, if I'm not mistaken, for the Knicks. But I didn't actually cap that game, so I don't necessarily have any off the head analysis for you.
When these teams met, like 2 weeks ago, Sexton and Garland were hurt. The total was at 196. And I was like, are these teams even going to get to 200? And I was and then the total came out at 196. Now we have Garland, Sexton back, and this total opens up at 205 and shoots up to the leading indicator books are saying it's going to go over 207. And I wonder, I think the Sexton look is nice. I think the Sexton look makes a ton of sense to me. That's going to be how I'm going to handle this. I think just focus on the Sexton points prop here, knowing that there's going to be a big following on TV for this game. -108 is the best I can give you at this point, Wham. Let's see if Bet365 can do anything there, and they're -110 too. So Cavaliers, moneyline -108.
Yeah, and also, what is the Cavs team total over? Last time we did cash that team total over for the Cavs. I think the tempo is going to be brought up. Like I mentioned before, the last 7, they've been going over in those quarters, last 7 quarters there, they've been playing pretty good. So I think the tempo is going to continue to go up, especially with those 2 guards coming back.
It's just 102.5, but it's heavily juiced at minus 118.
Let's add that, bro.
Let me
Let's
see if
add
I can
that.
get you a better
I was going
number
to bet
here.
that regardless, bro.
I can't get you. Okay. All right. So you are on Cavs money line and the over 102.5. Let's lock this in for Wham right now. Sorry, got up a little too far. Here we go. So Wham is on the Cavs at minus 108 at FanDuel. Then he's on the Cavs minus 108 at FanDuel. And then you're also on the
Money line.
Cavs team total over 102.5 at minus 118. That's also available at FanDuel. I'm going to move on to Sexton prop. And yeah, Dutch is on Drummond rebounds. That's where I'm going to leave it at this point. I'm not going to move further than that.